Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Technical Analysis Made Simple. In this video, we will discuss about global market chart analysis. We will also discuss about two major events that has happened globally. Domestic market chart analysis, we will also see how the FII data looks like and what is the issue with the FII data directly reading. So we will be discussing what is one caveat we need to follow. The next is we will form a view on Nifty heavyweights, like the way the stocks will be moving. Similarly, the Nifty will also move. So we will try to form a view seeing how the heavyweights look like. Then we will form a view for next week, and then one short-term pick that I have shortlisted this week. I am already invested, so this is a disclaimer. Do read the disclaimer on the left hand side. Let's start the video. Before that, I would like to tell you that you can get connected with me on Twitter or Facebook group, or you can also join the Telegram channel where I am very active and keep posting the latest updates. I may forget to post it on Twitter or on Facebook, but on Telegram there are latest updates. So suppose I feel a particular view about a market, then I will be posting that on the Telegram. So please join the group. This is the name of the group. You can search it and join it. Okay, starting with the global event. So there are two major events that has happened. One is the much awaited 1.9 trillion stimulus that has passed, and the another thing is bond yields are above 1.72 now. Now why is that concerning the market? We will see that in a while when we discuss the charts. So now let's start with the chart analysis. So first we will discuss Dow chart. So if you see, Dow has given a clear breakout last week, and last week it has given a retest of this rising wedge. Now rising wedge by nature is a bearish formation. However, this has given a breakout on the upper side, and unless this breakout candle fails, we cannot say that it is bearish. So Dow looks bullish as of now. It can retrace back to test this level, that is the last high level, which is around 32,089, but then here it looks very bullish. Nasdaq can be a bottleneck. If you see, the trend line that it was following since March low, that has broken, and after breaking it has also retested this line. Now the major thing that is left here is Nasdaq has to clear 13,308 on a weekly closing basis. If it goes above that, then Nasdaq can go back and hit a new high from here. But if in any case Nasdaq breaks 12,700 from here, then the next level that we can see is around 12,000 followed by 11,000. So there will be steep falls if 12,700 is broken from here, and if 13,300 is broken from here, then we can see a new high. So Nasdaq can be a bottleneck going forward, as it has been for last few weeks. S&P is also bullish here, but do remember that S&P has a lot of tech stocks in it, and if Nasdaq falls, it will drag S&P as well. However, S&P has not broken this trend line yet. There is a breakout here, and now it is consolidating on the upper part. If Nasdaq starts to recover from here, then S&P will also start hitting new highs from here, and that will be very fast. Gold. The people who are following my videos for quite some time, they would remember that this was the demand zone marked since gold was somewhere here. Now this demand zone will act as a resistance zone, because there was a clear breakdown, and after a breakout or breakdown, what does happen? A retest, right? So after the breakdown, it has gone to retest this, and there is a bleak chance that gold will recover directly from here. There can be a light retracement, and then probably it can go up. However, the range that gold will be now is 1745 to 1668 in dollar term. You can find the respective rupee value by seeing the Indian charts. DXY, that is dollar index, it has recovered pretty fast and it is now at this level. If you see, last time when it crossed this level, it gave a good rally, and that was in 2018. 2018 to 20, Indian markets were kind of in a sideways momentum. So if it start moving up, then there could be some problems in Indian markets. And if it start retracing from here, then money flow will increase into Indian market and we can see higher levels in the emerging market including India. So keep an eye on this as well. As of now, a breakout above will take dollar index towards 94, and if it fails from here, then the next level that comes is 90.5 and 90, followed by back to 88. But this time if we break 90, then we will see much lower levels here, which would mean a very good rally in Indian markets. Now this is the US 10-year. US 10-year bond yield has rose above 1.71. Now why is this concerning the market? If you see, the US inflation rate for February 21 is 1.7%. Now think about it. If there is a safety instrument which is directly beating the inflation and this is risk free as well, why won't people invest into that? And this is why there is a panic in the market when bond yield are rising. So as of now, there is an expectation that there will be money outflow from the equity markets and it will move into the bond market. Remember, it has not yet happened. If it start happening, then market will tumble like anything. It is not tumbling, right? There are only panic sellings and it is recovering. So now the way I see here is, it can either go up and hit 2%, which will be a real panic in the markets, or it can retrace from here and reach 1.4 levels where market will have a relief rally. Now, why these two levels? See, if you see here, there was a congestion zone, and if you see these two places, it is kind of an indecision zone. Whenever market goes into this, then it either fails or it goes up, right? So this part is an indecision zone clearly, and here market, which I mean that bond yield market, it is kind of confused what to do. So from here, if there is another breakout upside, then 1.955 or 1.2% is very likely. Markets will tumble for sure from here, because then people will start drawing money out of equity market and they will start putting it into bond market, because that is beating the current inflation rate, right? So this is how I understand this. Let me know if you have any other views on this. It would be interesting to know. Now let's discuss the FII data. So this is the past month's data. In February we had seen a good inflow. Now for March figures, so everything is fine here. One thing is that on 17th, 2625 crore buying that the data came, this is not the real data, because there was a 4200 crore block deal in SBI cards, and if we remove that, then FII is actually sold for 1800 crore. So this will be a negative figure here. So if you see negative, small positive, negative, then negative, positive. So if we deduct 4200 from here, we will get something around 5000 crores. Now remember, 19 days have already passed and the inflow has been 5000 crores only, which is very less. Let's see what next, but as of now it is very less and it is looking like FIIs are booking some gains. We still need confirmation, but let's see. Now let's come to Nifty chart. So Nifty is following this channel. Now there are a lot of lines. Let me explain. First of all, it is following this channel, which is very important because this channel has not broken on any side yet. Next, these two highlighted portions, these are the indecision zones. Why? Because market do not stick here. See, the first attempt was rejected. then rejection, rejection, rejection. 3 rejection candles are here, right? So this part is clearly a indecision zone, and whenever market will go there, until unless it breaks above that, it will keep getting rejected. Same is the case on the downside. If you see, it dipped here, recovered, dipped again last week, recovered. So these two zones are very important now. And if you see, the way I see it, until unless there is a big gap up or gap down, market will be in a 1,000 point range, that is 14,350 to 15,350 here. So keep an eye on these two levels for any major movement or any major change in the dynamics of the market. Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is certainly weaker than Nifty. Why? If you see the last week candle, this candle has closed above the midpoint of the whole candle range. If you see here, that is not the case, and hence this is a weaker candle as compared to the last one. Now here also I have marked two indecision zones, and this is the trend line that Bank Nifty is following since September, from when it has actually started getting some momentum. So here also there is some confusion that where it wants to head, but then this is certainly much weaker than Nifty. If you see, Nifty has a larger scope on the downside as compared to Bank Nifty, which is very close to the downside. If it start consolidating here, then a breakout possibility is very high. However, on the upper side, there is a big distance to be covered for a breakout above 37,700. So Bank Nifty is certainly weaker, and let's see if this indecision zone get cleared and market can push it higher. Let's come to Reliance. Reliance look bullish to me. The prime reason is that if you see, this was a resistance zone. Reliance broke out above that, came back, retested it. This retest is a confluence of this breakout plus this trend line breakout, and hence this looks very bullish to me because here buyers are there. If it comes back here, again buyers will push it higher. But the true momentum will start only above 2200 closing on a weekly level. If on the weekly basis 2200 is taken out, it will go back to make new highs. HDFC Bank. HDFC chart is very similar to Bank Nifty chart. And if you see here, after the breakout, here is also a retest. So I won't say that this is very weak here, but then this trend line has to maintain, and below that it will get into a congestion zone, that is 1469 to 1400. So here if it goes and start consolidating, then the breakdown chances will increase. But if you start bouncing from here, then we can reach higher levels. So we need to keep an eye on this as well. TCS is certainly weak. If you see, this is the trend line that it is following. There were big selling candles, and then for the past 3 weeks also it is getting rejected from the upside. Now next week TCS can come down and test 2880 or 2900 levels, and then it can get stuck in this range for some time. So TCS is certainly weaker. If we see HDFC, HDFC has broken the trend line, but then it is taking support at this point, and probably it will go into a range here, that is 2480 to 2660. Now this levels will be a range bound market, hence they will not contribute much towards the index. Infosys is certainly bullish here. If you see, after breaking out from this range, it has come back, tested it, and there was some buying interest here. Now once 1400 is taken out, it will go back towards 1700 targets, 1650, 1700. So Infosys can be a good contributor towards index upside. Next we will also cover ITC, because ITC was in focus for last few weeks and especially last week due to demerger news. Now demerger will happen or not, there is a controversy around that, but still stock is rising on the same news and it can rise a little more. So ITC also contributes a good amount to Nifty, and if you see that there is no resistance here, so ITC can clearly go and hit 235 levels here or it can come back, test 211 and then hit 235, but 235 looks very likely here. 235 once achieved, we need to see that how it reacts here. Either it will go into a range here or it will break out and then reach 260, but 235 looks very likely and you can plan your investments accordingly. Now one pick that I find interesting is GPIL. This is Godavari Power. Now if you see, it is a breakout of 3-year high, right? So 2018 starting, it made a top, then it was continuously falling. It gave a breakout last year and then it started rising. Now this structure is very bullish and this is a rounding bottom structure. So the total or the final target that comes here is around 1350. However, the midterm targets will be 850 and 1000. This is in a very high momentum. You cannot see any, this trend line is pretty steep and this shows that there is a very good momentum. The last week breakout was very impressive, and here if you see, your stop loss should be 553. Below 553 this structure will fail and it will start going lower. So 553 has to be the final stop loss on weekly closing basis, and your entries can be in the range of 586 to 620. Here I have highlighted 611, but till 620 buying is also fine. So if you see here, the risk is around 90 points and the first target is around 200 points higher. So this is a risk reward of 1:2. You can increase this risk reward to 1:3 plus. If you buy around 620, then your risk will be around 60-65 points and your reward will be around 200 plus points. So that will be a risk reward of 1:3 plus, and higher targets will be even higher. So this is a good pick that looks good to me. I have already invested in this, so you can think about it. Now the final takeaway, correction may continue. This week high low are very important for all stock and indices. Now this is important because on Friday we saw a short covering rally and almost all the stocks have rejection candle at bottom. Now if that rejection candle get rejected, that is if that is negated and the price starts going below, then the fall will be very steeper. So keep an eye on those. Similarly, if this week's high is taken out, then we can form a new high in most of the stocks. Global indices can recover from here, but we need to keep an eye on Nasdaq. As discussed, Nasdaq can be a bottleneck going forward, and that can also fuel the market as well if it starts recovering fast. Market might consolidate further, but stock specific action will continue. Yes, if market goes into a consolidation range, goes into a range where there is not much movement, then stock specific movements will keep happening and there will be stock specific rise as well. Now keep nailing profit and put stop loss on all your stocks, because we are in the uncertain times, anything can happen, and preferably put your stop loss based on weekly frame charts, because, and this is the reason I am also discussing here all the weekly charts, because daily charts are very volatile, they have random movements. So it is better to have a larger view of weekly or monthly chart. If you have very long-term charts, then keep a stop loss based on monthly view, but then monthly view might be too late to exit. So hence you should think about weekly stop losses. And if we continue to be in a range, there will be volatility as well. So keep an eye on these. Now that's all for this video, friends. Thank you so much. If you like the video, please like and share it. Thank you so much.